Good morning. This is Life's Dream number 99. Music is energy. And here's Mr. Energy himself.
Wasn't quite ready there.
Corky Siegel.
Okay.
Why not? I was driving in the city, wish I was on a country road. I was driving in the city, wish I was on a country road. Turn off my stereo, lay back and watch things grow. Sitting behind a bus, cooped up in my machine. Sitting behind a bus, cooped up in my machine. Oh, you know, all this busy city traffic just makes you feel so mean. Well, I met a country woman who wants a city life. She just don't understand, it's just a bunch of jive. All them fancy clothes won't get you nowhere when you can't drink the water and you can't breathe the air on 'em. driving in the city. Wish I was on a country road. I was driving in the city. Wish I was on a country road. Oh, turn off my stereo. Lay back and watch things grow. This is by Jim Post also. I'm sitting behind a bus, cooped up in my machine. I'm sitting behind a bus, cooped up in my machine. We wrote this in the 70s while we were cooped up in my machine. All those city busy traffic just makes you feel so mean. I met a country woman, she wanted a city life. She just didn't understand, just a bunch of jive. All those fancy clothes won't get you nowhere when you can't drink the water and you can't breathe the air. Oh no. Story time.
You know what time it is. It's story time. And so, here we go.
Okay, story time. Music is energy. It's been almost 6 decades, more than a half century, of being handed a life where music is a constant. But for all the time I put into doing the work of composing, performing with blues bands, chamber ensembles, symphony orchestras, all the writing and performing, and in addition accepting the challenge of bringing blues and classical music together, the lion's share of the time and effort that I put in is mostly in just trying to understand it all. And I've learned a lot in these 60 years of digging. But, you know, people will say, if I ask them, so explain to me, what empowers music? What's really, you know, at the sort, you know, stuff like that, or where am I supposed to be when I play? Or people, they would say, what, you know, Nike, the philosopher, says, just do it. And, you know, that's what I would tell anyone that came to me with those questions. I never asked anybody. Somebody said, just do it, dig? I just did it, but I also did the digging. So, yeah, I never just did it. Nah, not me. But like I say, I didn't ask anyone else. So in the early 70s, I started getting offers to do workshops. I would arrive at the university or the conservatory, ready to share what I thought was some interesting, useful information that I just sort of discovered that I dug up by really thinking about it a lot. And I took it for granted that professors and maybe even some of the students would already know about these ideas. I mean, it was an interesting subject, and I figured even if they knew about it, I'd bring it up. We'd have a discussion and just see what happens. I was surprised over and over and over again that even the professors expressed that this was new information for them. In fact, revelatory. And then there were times when I'd be working with a group of teachers and they were skeptical about some of the claims I was making until they saw it work and practice with their own students. They were absolutely amazed. In fact, I should tell you that my friend Michael Miles gave me the best quote for the workshop. He said something to the order that, I'm walking around rather amazed. This was in a letter. I'm walking around rather amazed today, trying some of your techniques. I can't believe that they would work, but they did. Something like that, I don't remember. But now we're getting close. Okay. When I realized the ideas about music I love talking about were in fact not commonly contemplated or explored, and when I saw how important they were for anyone interested in music performance, I just had to write a book about it. I shared many of my most important and practical secrets in the book, Let Your Music Soar. The fact is, anyone interested in music should have this book and should read this book. And I say that because I know a lot of people that have the book but haven't read it. I wouldn't have spent 20 years writing that book just to repeat what is already known. And unfortunately, a lot of what is already known and accepted as fact had not really been well thought out. Okay, there's many different ways to explore music. Today I'm just going to talk about energy. That's not, what I'm going to talk about isn't in the book. I don't look at music so much as notes and phrases and scales, but as a playground of energy with expressive colors, flavors, and feelings. I'll give you an example. So, here's a classic blues lick. Now that's a particular series of notes and it creates a melody. I don't think of it that way. I think of it this way. It's a feeling. It creates this feeling. It has a little expression to it. One of my absolute favorite licks, you'll hear it a lot from me. Another variation of it. It's a feeling. Here's another one, a little bit of a different feeling. Yeah, another one. It's a little bit of a different feeling. You see what I mean? It's not notes, it's feelings. To me, that's what music is. And basically, it's just energy. So, where was I? Okay. They don't have to be defined. These flavors and colors, they're just feelings. They're just experienced. So from this viewpoint, it's all about energy. And it's people playing in this energy and in delivering it out there into the world. The music doesn't need the artist so much. Music is inherently healing, uplifting, and unifying. But knowing its power, there's a bit of sanctity in there. The artist can, if they wish, see it's a responsibility to offer the best to bring good into the world. The situation that is revealed in the production process for Extravaganza is interesting. And for those that don't know Extravaganza, of course, it's the project launching on March 6th that was originally commissioned by Chamber Music on the Fox, but it's chamber blues and 7 brilliant guest artists, and it runs an hour and 43 minutes. And I just delivered it to the City Winery for them to get ready for March 6th. Anyway, in the process of creating Extravaganza, each performer is alone, isolated in their individual space. This brings about an intensity that just doesn't happen in the same way on stage when we're together. On stage, we share an experience with all the players simultaneously. Isolated in a room, creating your individual contribution, the whole world of expression, joy, responsibility is focused on your shoulders in a very heightened fashion. And you then package this up as your own gift and offer that up to the production. Then Holly and I receive what we call these blessed contributions that are each glorious explosions of creativity and pulsating energy. And isolated from the others, we do our best to put it all together. The audio, the visuals, the energy. And we try and do it in a way that honors these sacred gifts from each of our collaborators. And we're always asking the question, how does that feel? How does that feel? How does that feel? Not how does it look, not how does it sound. How does that feel? And then we offer all of this up to the universe. We've noticed, all of us in this production have noticed that separately together, as we call it, creates a deeper sense of together than one would think. It's weird, it's wild, it's interesting. As close as we feel when we are together in person, we feel even closer in this separation than when we're on stage together. It's amazing. And then there's a lot more that makes this kind of production special. Some things I've talked about before. I have a whole list of at least 30, 35 extraordinary advantages for the player and the audience in this new process, in this new format. It's all of this that makes Extravaganza, the project Extravaganza, so special for me. Beyond the perfectly chosen jewels of notes and words from all the players. But I'm still amazed at how so many of us are twisting ourselves into pretzels, trying to recreate a shadow of the past. A 1,000-seat concert hall that can only accommodate 50 people, spread out, and each in an airtight container. Musicians on stage with masks covering their expression, and a flautist without a mask. I guess we can always afford to lose a flautist now and again. Instead, we have this palette of possibility, not to replace a live concert, not to create a music video, not to make a movie, but to immerse ourselves in a different format for presenting music. And this is the time to do it. When I'm told by the consensus of science that it's safe for me to call my audience of maskless octogenarians to gather together, only then will I begin to put performance dates on the calendar. But I'm very patient because in the meantime, I'm having a blast with this. And the Extravaganza project I can watch over and over and over because there's so much to see and so much to feel. I could never get tired of it. I could never get tired of watching it. I could never get tired of doing it. I could never get tired of creating in this unusual, unique, and fresh new way. However, these live streams that I'm doing now, that's a whole different thing. These live streams are more just a way of saying hello and welcome and hanging out. There's a lot of that in Extravaganza, but the live streams are just for this. So that was story time. And if you have a chance, go to WGN Radio. Rick Kogan.
After Hours.
Yeah, After Hours did an interview with me, 15 minutes. And Rick, I could just listen to this guy talk. He's another stud Sturkle.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, just brilliant. Just his voice.
He's also an author as well.
He's an author. He writes for the Chicago Tribune and WGN Radio, host. And of course, he's a brilliant guy, but he makes you feel loved just when you hear his voice. He's quite amazing. So if not for any reason, check out WGN Radio, Rick Hogan, After Hours. And he does this beautiful little 15-minute interview with me. That's really just sweet. So that was story time. Oh, I forgot. Since we're talking about Extravaganza, and since I just put it up, and Holly and I worked really hard on the credits.
The credits are almost a little movie and experience in themselves.
Yeah, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to play just this one little short piece that we used in the credits of our violinist Qixuan Yang, who does this really nice little thing, and we included it in the credits. So I'm going to play that for you now.
So thank you for joining us for Life's Dream number 99, called
Music as Energy. Wow. And again, I say this over and over, corkymusic.com or corkymusic.com/stream will get you to Extravaganza. You'll be able to see it. And it's my most ambitious work to date.
It's very visual. And after you're finished watching it, which I know you will, you'll
finish watching it.
You will feel that you are best friends with each of the musicians because
And
they
guests.
give so much of themselves and their personal experience. You will feel more connected to them than you would have if you sat in a large theater environment.
And we made sure that we all invited you into our individual homes and that you have to welcome us into yours. That's the deal.
Okay.
So anyway, that's everything. Let's see. So we're going to do a Zoom after this. And again, the Zoom link will also be at corkymusic.com/stream. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care.